Welcome to the first European semifinals of this expansions tournament. In this game we have Justin and we have Maxah, two of the newcomers who are both playing for the first time in this tournament. They've made it pretty far, and we're getting to the hot phase. We got 4 players on each server left, and this is a semifinal, obviously the first one. On the other half of the bracket, we have sort of the matchup of the veterans. We got Ryukuma and Lemonade there, who are going to be battling it out later down the line in a couple of days. That video will be up. But today, Justin and Maxah have the stage. JJ, introduce us to the lineups we're seeing.
Well, Justin is bringing a Highlander Rogue, a Galakrond Aggro Warrior, and a Quest Druid, with his Galakrond Control Warlock being banned. Maxah is bringing a Handlock, a Pirate Warrior, a Combo Priest, and the Mech Paladin being banned on that side.
The Mech Paladin we've seen being very explosive, and that's, I think, rightfully earned itself a ban here. Anchor on the starting hand right away for Maxah. We see Maxah on the bottom, Justin on the top. It looks like he's got a Leroy. Yeah, got a Leroy in the starting hand. And you have a bit of a question to answer right away. You don't really want to upgrade on one, but this is weird. But then you might have to tempo play with your Pirate. You don't want to coin the Pirate either, because you might want to coin your Anchor. What do you really do? You might just pass.
Yeah, and of course as Pirate Warrior you want to get this strong start going, especially with your opponent playing a similar strategy, not necessarily a similar deck, but...
Not Pirate, but Galakrond.
The aggressive Warrior has some of the board centric clearing potential with cards like Awaken and Sign of Ruin.
Justin with a very strong start, arguably the optimal 1 or 2 drops in the deck. There is Skyrider coming up. He's gonna probably play, yes, the Bloodsail with Anchor likely. I'm expecting I have the upgrade nicely into for the Anchor there.
Chooses to go with an Awaken to deal with it, hits the face in there.
Probably kill the board up with that.
Yeah, plays it nice and slow, controls the board, which is probably what you want to do here.
Yeah, you've got all the early Awakens. You probably can afford to just take it easy and say I'm going to win the value game. Anchor, snap play for Maxah as was expected.
Yeah, because for Justin the thing is that with cards like Scion and Awaken, I think he has more control potential than his opponent.
Absolutely.
So
now Parachute Brigand, you see right there, is a key card in this deck.
Yes.
We've seen in the bunch. It's almost a better patches. It doesn't have charge, but the stats are better, and it's whenever it comes down, it's going to be a huge value push. And you're seeing a very strong turn coming up for Maxah next turn, likely with a charge Pirate with an upgrade and with that free 2/2. Sign of Ruin though, very good play, and I'm expecting whatever was just announced by me to be.
Yeah, Skyrider also comes down because there's extra mana, of course. And we're gonna see the upgrade
and probably the Town Crier.
Town Crier, and can still see the Southsea deckhand, which you alluded to earlier.
Why not?
Yes,
there it is.
Will.
Faceless is a very important pickup too.
And Maxah deciding to also go for the board control.
Seems like a smart player for Maxah because he just threw into all sorts of value. And now you can even coin the Taunt. That's big.
Literally.
That is big. That is a big value swing. I mean, he played, what, like 5 cards and like 10 in stats this turn or something crazy.
And that is how you aggro.
That is how you aggro for Maxah. Snip Snap is possible now if you want. If you're Justin, you don't have Kronks yet because you're at 5 mana.
Yeah, Snip Snap is a little awkward at 5, of course. The Inner Rage doesn't do anything, and Battle Rage doesn't do much either. I mean, you would have to Inner Rage something to then Battle Rage to draw 1 card.
That was a devastating turn for Maxah before this one. We've seen it.
Yeah,
if he puts anything down, expect the Faceless to come down, just lock this board up.
Yeah,
and I guess going to start pushing damage.
We might just see Snip Snap Hero Power here. It sucks to play it as
Can't
the
imagine a better play. Crocs is not what you want to find. It's gonna be that, very likely. Yep, there we go.
And this can feel good if you're Justin.
No.
You want to be able to take back the board, to push some damage, and instead, really not much of anything. Another upgrade drawn for Maxah. That's big time.
That's huge.
And I assume the Core Crown is going to go face as well.
Very likely.
We might just see the 2/1 attack.
Oh, Horde Pillager! That's perfect for Anchor next turn.
Yes!
Pirate synergy at its best. I mean, that's what you love to see if you're a fan of this deck like me. This is wonderful play. It's Maxah celebrating the Pirate Warrior and its glory. That's what we love to see.
And I guess it would have to be Kronks. It could be Maniac, but it doesn't really clear too nicely.
You have to play your Krongs. I mean, you have to
think so,
pick up your Galakrond, get your values. I mean, you've invoked, what, 3 times? 3 times? You gotta get going. Because look at this board, and I mean, there's...
I think twice, but yeah.
All this charge damage on Maxah's hand already.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
9
of course,
with the Leroy.
if you do play the Maniac, you can get rid of the Korkron and the Brigand, but there's still 2 1/1s left.
Yes.
I mean, you could iterate one of them, but
Tough decision, Maxah. You are watching the semifinals of the Hearthstone Trash Bowl Championships on the European Conference, sponsored by Beverage. You ever thirsty? Drink some beverage, please. Let me remind you to drop a like on this video to support these competitors and the Elite Hearthstone that you're getting for free. The least you can do, drop a like, let them know that they are appreciated. As we see the
are we gonna see Battle Rage?
invocation.
It looks like we're gonna see Battle Rage.
It makes sense. I mean, you have to just find something here, right? You could even iterate to kill something here.
How about double iterate to kill something?
You could, yeah.
No,
Nope.
that seems like overkill. A single
Yeah.
iterate I could have accepted, but 2 is just too much. I guess we're gonna see maybe Anchor go face here.
No, you could Horde Pillager, or you could also Faceless.
I don't hate either, really.
Horde Pillager, you get a guaranteed Anchor back.
Yeah, I do like
Impeccable value.
the Faceless though this turn, maybe a little bit better, because you can still Horde Pillager next turn, and still get the weapon.
And with another Pillager on hand, by the way, Maxah will draw every pirate in his deck before he ever runs out of steam.
Which I guess that's nice.
That is definitely a good thing.
And
That's what you want.
now it has to be Kronks.
Gotta play Kronks.
There is
No choice.
no other like worthwhile play on the hand. You can still double iterate to get rid of the Pillager if you want to.
It's certainly dangerous because you're looking at so much damage. You play Kronks, you might go down to 4 health next turn. It's a tough situation, but you don't have anything else. You just don't have the removal.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can use the Inner Rage as a bit of a removal option here. Not the strongest option, but we might see him go for Taskmaster, Inner Rage Taskmaster, and another Battle Rage.
You could.
And then still Inner Rage the Pillager afterwards. Kills the biggest thing on the board and draws 2 cards. I think
Drops a
Justin
hand.
is being a little too
Draws some more.
conservative with the Krongs, but he does get himself some draw.
Oh, the Devastation. Badly. Some more
And-
draw is not bad at all. Temple Berserker is good. Iterate synergies.
Yeah, especially because he does still have that one Taskmaster, of course, on the hand. That being said,
Sort of expecting to lock this board down though now. I'm surprised he doesn't go face. He doesn't kill the 4/1. That being said, Captain Greenskin off the top.
I mean, you would kill the 1/2 with the Brigand, and then you faceless it,
Then you faceless it, yeah.
and then you can still kill the rest of the board if you want.
But
to.
I wouldn't have sacked my faces. I would have took the 4 to the face here.
Yeah, I mean, it is an aggro matchup. Your opponent does have burst damage.
Well, not this much burst damage. I'm currently doing burst damage, I think. But Maxah probably has an idea here of what to do.
By
Just
the way,
goes Greenskin. Oh, it's interesting.
yes, but then you should have played that before you hit the face for 1 extra point of
Yes,
damage.
that is correct.
A little bit of an inaccuracy here.
No, the Greenskin was drawn from the anchor, so he couldn't have.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah, but it looks like we might finally see Kronks come down.
Yep, yeah,
And
it's time.
The
It really has to.
Taskmaster allows for a really good trade here, with the Greenskin, and the Galakrond is
The Galakron's
here.
finally picked up.
Galakrond the
that is
Apocalypse.
important. Right, Kasser. He might go Hook Tusk. If Hook Tusk was a warrior card, it would be acceptably good.
Especially because of the rush synergies in Warrior. That being
Exactly.
said, we get a good draw either way. Oh right, the deckhand still has charge,
That kind has charge.
and that overrides the rush.
That kind has charge, my dude.
It just has charge while you have
Just
weapon
has
equipped. A lot of other cards would say something like, "Oh yeah,
Battlecry
if you
gains
battle
charge.
cry, blah blah blah." No,
Has charge. Important. Very important. Good use. Alright,
And
Justin, you gotta find answers.
Scion seems like a very good play.
Can you afford Galakron here? Leroy on hand.
You can afford Awaken and Scion. Perfectly clears
Yes,
the
you
board.
can do that.
Clears the board, leaves you with a lot of stats left.
Leaves you also with
And
another
I
turn where you're not
believe
Galakron.
finishes up your Galakron. Yes, there we go. Azeroth's End,
Expecting Scion, there we go.
and that gives you that extra 5 damage next turn when you play him
That could be
with
very
a claw. And on top of that, also draws you 2 extra cards.
Expecting a couple pirates here now, maybe Sky Raider, and he can face us that.
I mean, now also if you're Maxah, you have to start looking at your own health.
Yeah. Taunt
So
is definitely
the taunt is
mandatory.
good. The rush would be maybe relatively
might
good. The restless mommy that is. That being said,
And he can't face
can't
us at the
play
same
faceless,
time, but
yeah.
you'll play Sky Raider first to see what you can get.
South Sea Captain.
That's not uninteresting, of course.
Not bad, but not really relevant.
Right now, you don't have anything to attack this turn, so not necessary.
I think you take the Faceless.
Takes
the draw first, fair enough.
Oh, more pirates! That means he's gotten every one. So Faceless right away. I like the
trades. Make of that what you will, yeah. And Hero Power, of course. Hero Power, by the way, very underrated in these archetypes in general, but especially in the aggro matchups.
Yeah, and look at Maxah, by the way, doing the 5-dimensional math, saying Galakrond right now you can kill maybe one thing, reasonably 2 with the weapon, but I still have the Leroy Plus weapon next turn. And even the captain if I wanted the captain. But that captain is not going to do that.
But still, if you're Justin, you have to play the Galakrond. There's
you don't have anything else. Yeah, exactly.
And then the question is, what do you have for 3 or less mana that you really want to put down right away? The Bloodstorm Mercenary isn't bad, but it doesn't protect you. Plays the Hero Power first.
I like Hero Power.
Yeah, but I mean, the question is, what do you have in your deck, right? And he says, I don't have a taunt or anything, so I might as well do this. Yeah, and you can still play the Hellcryer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it.
I'll play Towncry here, but does he live though? You can kill 2 things. That's 3 more. Kronk takes 1 out. He's at what? 14. Leroy weapon doesn't quite do it unless Cobalt Lackey comes up. Cobalt Lackey wins off the weapon.
Yeah, so that you can't argue with a play that keeps you alive.
Yes, that is true. Arcanite Reaper.
Speaking of Arcanite Reaper, the big one.
The big one. Maxah. Wow, that was a performance straight out of the books with that Pirate Warrior. That's what you love to see when you're sympathetic towards this type of archetype, this type of deck. And I personally love Pirate Warrior, but dude, this was wonderful to watch. Maxah with the grand celebration of that deck, just wonderful. Taking the 1-0 lead in a big match and a big time game right off the top. It's going to be an interesting one. It seems like it.
Maxah are limited to comparatively slower decks with the Combo Priest, which has explosive turns, but not early on necessarily, and the Handlock, which is more of a control deck, really. Very
unique lineup from Maxah, we have to say. We're not seeing the Highlander stuff, we're not seeing all the Galakrond stuff, we're seeing very interesting lineups, and so far it's prevailed.
Yeah, and if you're Justin, it's a little bit awkward to plan against this, because I'm pretty sure that the exact decks that you'd want to play against the Combo Priest are probably the ones you don't want to necessarily play against the Handlock, and vice versa. So that leaves him with a little bit limited options. Let's see what he goes for, and
he could just queue the same again.
It's the same again.
He's thinking, I have the fastest deck on the board now.
Yeah, which would have been really good against the Combo Priest. Maybe not as optimal against the Handlock though.
Maybe Maxah's thinking, he's double reversing him psychologically, like, oh, he's gonna play this again because it's the fastest deck. I'm gonna give him the Warlock.
Because the Warlock has a lot of control options.
It does, and you see 2 of them right there.
Yeah, I mean...
Zillick's huge, Darksky's huge.
It's called a hand Warlock, but at the end of the day, it is just a very hand-centric control Warlock.
Maxah might keep this whole thing.
I think that was the case. Because I think the Mulligan already had it.
Yeah, he did.
Full capped.
Doesn't have the coin. Alexstrasza's not great there, but he has removal. He has stuff to deal with other stuff. We'll see the Rover.
Yeah, and I think the coin is much more valuable for Maxah than it is for Justin, so...
Definitely.
I think Justin is probably happy with getting it in this matchup.
Tap.
And... I guess
if you're Justin, you also probably prefer to go first, so...
Well, yeah, but I think that for the Handlock, having 2 extra cards on the hand...
Does he kind of wake?
Probably a lot more significant than... the little bit of extra tempo for the aggro deck.
You always have a chance to play your Kronks quicker now also, so you'll probably take it. You coin the Awaken here.
Well, then you don't have the chance to play the Kronks quicker.
Yeah, that's true.
Then again, Justin so far not necessarily a quick Kronks player either way. Because it is a little awkward. The turn you played, it doesn't have a lot of impact.
If Kronks had Taunt, that would be a different story every time. But he doesn't.
Or Charge. Or even Rush, for that matter.
Yeah, Rush. Sure.
Anything that allows you to, like... control the board a little bit and
Rush Taunt immune Mega Wind Fury. He's gonna coin it. Is he? Yeah.
Yes.
He is.
Getting the 2 extra armor, I mean, you're dealing 3 more points of damage, and you have the same amount of armor as you would otherwise. Yeah. So you can't really argue with it too much.
Maybe Hero Power was just too slow for him there. Speaking of which, Hero Power is not too slow for Max.
Baldur's Drawn.
Mountain Giant coming up, Twilight Drake coming up,
also
take your
Mercenary
Poisonary you have.
is a bit of an awkward play, but it's the best play you have.
It's the best play you have.
And it still is more than 3 mana worth of stats.
Pick your big stuff. You have Mountain Giant, you have Twilight, whatever you want to do. Even like Extravaganza, you can play whatever you want.
I mean, what about Frizz?
You could play Frizz, but I mean, an 8-8 or a 4-9 or 4-10? You want to turn that down for Frizz right now? I like this because you have to deal with this. Scion not active yet, so do you swing your axe into that with the face?
It's either that or Korkron.
It might be, yeah. And that's burst damage. That's burst damage that's going into big stuff and not to the face, which is a way to defend yourself.
I mean, you could just play Korkron or Axe and just go full face, but then you have to win fast.
You have to win fast. The Zilliax's coming up.
And that looks to be
That's what he's gonna do.
For.
So, Justin, man, chips on the table right away. I'm expecting Zilliax.
So that's to go for the option that allows him to push more damage next turn with the weapon and
Play
gives him the armor.
Too. Next turn, Scion is active. Zilliax snap play. Maxa's playing this quick. I mean, all the plays are just making themselves here for Maxah. He's taking it very easy with the control there. We're gonna see Scion of Ruin more than likely here.
Yeah, Scion does take out... I mean, the Scion
everything
plus Rage can take out everything, yeah.
You just take it out like this if you use the robot.
Yeah, the question is, would you rather retain the minion...
Or take 8?
What? Inner Rage?
You could Inner Rage, but I think you want to keep that for burst for yourself in this game. Because that's what it will more than likely boil down.
I mean, yeah,
right?
that does seem like a very strong option, especially because he has charged minions on his hand. He also has the Galakrond, which is worth noting. We might see that come down. I mean, as a matter of fact, I expect to see that on 7, yeah. Just had to hit the face in there because he wants that minion.
Wants a minion. Says 28's fine. I'm not losing this by taking too much damage.
And that's
big
really
taunt. Big taunt coming out. You can put a Twilight Drake or Mountain Giant with taunt. That's huge for Maxah.
I would maybe like seeing the Twilight Drake more here.
I mean, it's always a pick. You know, on 4 you can play either. Whatever you like better, really.
Yeah, but that's why I said I like the Twilight Drake better here because there's more health. And at the end of the day, most minions are gonna die to 4 attack when trading in. So maybe you wanted that extra health there rather than the extra attack.
Seems like I wanted the giant.
That being said, it's not like Justin has a good way to deal with it right now.
It was one extra health too, right? Was it even extra health? He has 7 cards now. He had 8 before, and it was within the same. Within the 4.
Oh, never mind.
So then you want the giant.
Not used to Handlock having so little cards on his hand.
Yeah, if it's a 4/10, then you can think. But in this case, the Mountain Giant makes a lot of sense. And Justin in the tank right now, driving through France, just thinking.
And the weird thing is, Inner Rage is still 1 off.
So no way to push through this taunt. You can just hit stuff in there. As a Malagoose for Maxah.
Malagos.
And just Valdors, and yeah, it has the time to play it too. Gonna draw him some cards, extend the hand size, so.
And trades away into the 1 Eternium Rover. And the question is, will we see the Mountain Giant go face? No, we won't.
Taking it very easy. We're not allowing any buffs anymore, says Maxah. And I like the decision too.
And
Galakrond must be the play.
Yeah, it must
be. It has to be. I mean,
because then you have Galakrond to deal. Kronks to deal with the board the turn after.
You also, by the way, dying in 2 or 3 turns yourself if you're Justin, because you're seeing that Malagoose and double Soulfire already.
That's true. Not that you could play Malagos and the Soulfires on the same turn.
No. We'll play Malagos on 9, Soulfire. You could play Alexstrasza on 9, whatever you felt. Next turn, Alexstrasza would already be lethal. And what even is there to do?
I mean, it's just Kronks to play the board.
You have to devastate, yeah. But then how you defend Malagos now?
I mean, he doesn't even know that he has it. I mean, you know it's in the deck, but...
Yes. Oh, Maxah's playing this conservative. He's gonna actually go Dark Skies and put more minions up just for stats. He could have played the Malagos, threatened an instant lethal next turn. But he still has it, of course, if
yeah, but also...
doesn't get clean up and it doesn't
there might be a way to kill the Malagos with, say... Like a Leroy drawn off the Galakrond plus Inner Rage.
If you're using a buffed Leroy to run into my Malagoose, then I'm more than cool with that.
I mean...
But I think there's many ways that lead to roam here from Maxah. I mean, it's not like he's teetering or something. He's got a 10-10 with taunt on the board, and no recognizable way for Justin to push through this. Justin, by the way, the guy that JJ played in the quarterfinals round before that in a very tightly contested match, which was a lot of fun. He's on the ropes, man. He's having trouble. You have to find a way to win with this warrior.
There is a way to remove the taunt. Is just not a nice way to do it. Between your Leroy and the Devoted Maniac, you would have had the method to do it, but it's just not what you want to do.
He's gonna go stats, and that's gonna be what kills him. He doesn't, of course, know that there's burst damage, but there is burst damage, and Max is gonna take this one home.
I mean, 4 points of damage is
several ways to do it. I would have much preferred Malagos, obviously, on the Soulfire. Decides not to.
Plays Leroy in the Soulfire.
Leroy in the Soulfire. Not Max doesn't care much about style or satisfying the audience, but that's his right to do so. I would have loved to see my boy, the Blue Dragon, but he says,
I mean, just showing off, like,
nothing.
I could have killed it with Leroy, I could have killed it with Soulfire, I'm picking my poison, yeah.
Could have Alex draws his own face, whatever you want to do. Decides to go with the Leroy, and 2-0 lead for Maxah, and it's getting close here for Justin. You have to pick this up somehow, so do you trust the warrior again?
I mean...
in arguably your best match.
I was about to say, first of all, now your opponent becomes much more predictable in this last match, potentially last matchup. On his last deck and Combo Priest, that should be the one deck in the lineup that dies to aggro very easily.
Maxah so far has victimized the Galakron with both of his decks to counter it well.
Quest Druid seems like it's a similar sort of pace as the Combo Priest, but it could
Quest Druid
keep up strength-wise.
It's a very dubious matchup, but he decides to go back with the Warrior. First of all, I respect and like that decision from Justin, because it's probably his best deck, and even though he lost twice with it, you can't lose faith in it. That being said, great hand there from Maxah.
I mean, arguably if it's the best deck, but definitely given the matchup it is.
Yes.
I would say that probably the Druid is the best deck overall that he's has.
But for this matchup for sure.
It's more 50-50 matchup. You are probably still favored as the Druid, but not by a lot. Psychic would have been possible, but we're just waiting for something to buff.
He'll play 12 year.
Because that's not the point of the deck, and 12 year.
I mean, Maxah has
Blade Master,
everything.
And then buff the Blade Master.
He has everything he wants on his hand right now.
I mean, you can produce relatively easily an 11-4. There we go, an 11-4 Injured Blade Master.
Yeah, he has. I mean,
that's kind of a winning thing. Yeah, I mean, just I like 12 year and then just Blade Master turn after.
You can coin the Blade Master here if you want to.
I mean, why?
Yeah, that's exactly the right question. Not that Justin has a good play to remove it yet.
But the thing
I also like 12 year. Just put the taunt down.
I like the combination of 12 year and Blade Master because then you have two things that you can buff. And also the 12 year is protecting the Blade Master, which is arguably the more attractive target here. As being a 4/7, you get the 4 extra health on there.
You can play your Blade Master Circle next turn and have a big wall.
Yeah, you can play Blade Master Circle, and then the turn after you could, if you wanted to already push it with Psychic Shield and Topsy. That does, of course, then run the risk of being removed by something like a Scion, but that's still a lot of damage. Of course, against aggro, probably the one situation where you'd less want to actually...
play.
Actually, it's really good, because then also the Temple Berserker is not raging more.
Yeah. All the benefits there from Maxah. He's played this really smartly, and there's comes with being sidekick.
Plays it more as control. I'm not sure how much I like that.
I like it. I do like it. Big taunts are important, especially against burst damage. Let him bite into the stone some more.
To be fair, that doesn't mean that he does not get to kill the injured Tolvier.
Maxah is a card or two away from winning this like outright, basically. So it's a dangerous situation. Don't be surprised to see double shield. Looking for that Divine Spirit. There's another 12 year. There's an Inner Fire. And he's playing this super slow and I think really well. I like this a lot.
I'm not a huge fan of always buffing the taunt rather than the Blade Master.
I do like
because I like the taunt as something to protect the Blade Master, with the Blade Master winning the game later.
It's health to protect the Blade Master. The taunt's it's still impenetrable.
I mean, of course, because the Scion is not available this turn, cannot push through it right away. That being said, there will be Scions available next turn.
Once he's invoked. There's another
I
one,
mean,
so.
he couldn't play anything but the Invoke or the other Invoke, you know.
So they're gonna be coming up. He's just chipping away at that health every turn because he knows he has to.
Yeah, and if you don't, then you're basically already giving up the combo.
Psycho Pump. That is another huge draw.
Now what you really are looking for would be another circle or some other sort of strong healing that you can apply to your dude so you can actually use the inner fire. Because that's right now what you're stuck at. You can't really inner fire.
You could have inner fired the Blade Master heal and inner fired for an 8/8 or something. That would have been good. Because you remember you also have to remove it through a big taunt. Scion of Ruin is necessary, deals with all the taunt. And Ritual Choppers, where we're going to take that Blade Master away now. So that was a very important turn for Justin here.
Yeah, and all of a sudden all of those health buffs are just gone.
But look at the health total of Maxah. We're turn 7, and how much damage has he taken this game? Like, what more can you really ask for if you're playing this deck? And there's, by the way, a 4/7 Reborn. Light Warden coming down, and he still, by the way, has the aggro. He still has the tempo in a game where he absolutely shouldn't. I think Maxah's in a good position, but Justin has to find the powerful place to come back here. I think he has the hand to do it, but it needs to happen quickly. Scion is definitely thinkable here.
I mean, Scion would be great if you had another source of... Yeah, it would be great if you had another source of damage because you can't quite take care of the Blade Master that way. I mean, you could, but it's just awkward. I guess you could, yeah. But it's like running 3 minions into a 7 health is a little awkward. And you do have to kill the Reborn as well.
You also kill all 3 others.
Yeah, but then Divine Spirit Interfire is like 2/3 of your health.
It's tough.
Then you have
some questions being asked.
Like Beaming Sidekick, Divine Spirit Interfire is like 3 points off lethal. So definitely worth considering that there is some risks involved there.
So it's the Psycho Pump, he probably needs to go here. And yeah, the Blade Master seems to live.
The question is, does he hit the Scion in just to make sure that more healing is necessary for maximum damage?
I think he will, and he does, yeah. I like
that's definitely correct, yeah. Which is the thing, right?
Still on his back foot, though. You don't want to do this. You haven't touched the face at all.
And it's always awkward to play against a combo priest because your playstyle is completely different from what you would normally do.
And I think now it might be Wild Pyro time.
Because normally what you'd want to do is not run the minion in. But because of the way the combo works, you want to always reduce the health of the biggest minion on the board no matter what. Yeah, the Pyro makes sense.
He could circle inner fire, just try push damage to the face, but I'm not so sure. But I think Pyro and just clear this up is correct.
Pyro, you can topsy the Pyro to clear the board for the most part, and also...
You could topsy the Rover to clear it nicer.
Oh, that's true. I always like topsying Pyros in general because that gives them one extra use, but in this case, topsying the Pyro doesn't seem to make more sense, that's true.
Deny the armor, I think, just topsy the Rover. He's gonna... Seems like...
I mean, it doesn't... Oh, you mean next turn, yeah. I mean, I don't hate it. It leaves a small minion on the board. It can be inner-aged, so it's a bit of a threat, but it's not that huge.
Circle now?
That just... I mean, that gives a little bit of extra health on your...
It gives armor.
I was about to say I don't like it, though.
Especially if you circle, don't you want to topsy the Rover instead?
Especially because you could have just pretty much some like hero power next turn.
You can get 8 armor out of this Rover now. That's quite a lot.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about that about the like extra 2 points of armor as much as it just seemed like a waste in general.
So we have a bit of war attrition going on. Both players with 1 card in hand.
Yeah, but that Galakron is going to be a lot more impactful than the Inner Fire right now.
That Galakron is definitely a good one. And there's a Divine Spirit picked up.
Yeah. I mean,
not great on your Wild Pyro.
And that's the thing. I know that from experience, right? When you're playing the Combo Priest, you run into those situations where you're just having to like keep a bunch of cards in your hand just waiting to be able to use them. And I think this is basically already won for the
super
Warrior.
Super important there. And he's picked up some good stuff too. He can play this Rover to just solidify.
Yeah, I mean the big Rover.
Very important.
Next turn you can even double Taskmaster it, deal 9 to the face.
Oh, Acolyte of Pain is a huge pull.
Yeah, but is it enough,
That's
right?
super important. I mean, that's probably the best card, or one of the best cards. Outside of Psycho Palm, maybe, that you could have gotten.
And yet, it doesn't do much right now.
Well, it's going to draw a bunch of cards, and that's really what you kind of need. You're giving him a lot of armor now, but remember, your goal is to just pull that combo off. And that ritual is also very important.
But the combo becomes harder and harder the more armor your opponent has, and you've already used one of the Divine Spirits.
I'm not saying Max is favored by any means, but this is the best chance he can have. Especially with this Amet now. That's really all I can do. Justin probably looking to just duplicate this Rover and just...
How about double Taskmaster first and then duplicate it?
Yeah, you could. Just gain 50 armor. Makes a lot of sense to me.
I mean, it would be more like 4 armor, but sure.
You might not have to kill him this turn.
Decides to go for 1 and keeps the other. Maybe it's potential burst damage next turn.
Clearing everything up. Very sensible for sure.
And, I mean, look at that, right? 16 damage on the board.
It's gonna start going face soon. Here come the big minions. One last push for Maxah is really all he can do.
I'm looking at 18 damage next turn, taking into account the Taskmaster. And you can still draw a little bit of damage, potentially.
Yeah. There's a Leroy.
That's kind of what I was thinking about,
Leroy is big.
Wait, that is... What did I say? It's
24.
16,
It's close.
18, 24, 27, right?
Yeah, that's close. Close as it gets. And an Inner Rage and a Corkron, maybe? You got it. Not quite this turn.
I mean, you can just go face with what you got.
Yeah, you can do that, yeah.
I mean, keep the Leroy in hand probably, but everything else can go face, and then just say, like, deal with this.
Yeah, I assume that is... he's gonna make this... He's gonna make sure he doesn't... Yeah, I mean, I agree with this. He's down 2-0. He can't make any blunder here. Like, just don't take a risk. Because you can't afford to lose this game.
Yeah, that's true, but the thing is, oftentimes when you play too carefully, you might run out of steam at some point. That being said, the Priest is also doing that.
Yeah, not in this game.
So maybe less worrying in this matchup in particular, but generally always a concern. You don't want to accidentally like use all of your firepower on removal and not have it.
You have the clear resource advantage. You just take it nice and easy. I do agree with that. It's Acolyte of Pain. No ways to proc it this turn. So I assume we're gonna see that just Ritualist and you're not gonna. I mean, you don't have to use the hero for anything. You need that Psycho Palm and more buffs, and you need it quite quickly.
13, 15, 21, 25. It's a little bit less because there's one less minion, of course. But I'm just saying.
If you can get one chip into the face and at some point, you're already setting yourself up for one turns. But he's gonna make this. He's gonna play this really smart, I would think. Or he doesn't. He goes face. Which would also be smart. I mean, he's probably secure enough. I mean, he is. Let's be honest, secure enough. Well, he's got over 30 health at this point.
What is he gonna do with the Acolyte? Right, run it in and get one draw.
There's no danger there. Psycho Pump coming up.
No taunt.
No taunt.
It could have been the injured Tolvir.
Could have been.
That would have been a lot better for Maxah in this situation. That being said, you do still, if you want, you can still get a draw. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily how you want to get a draw, but
that saves you though. So do you have another Tolvir?
No, both were played already.
So no taunts?
Yeah, heals the face. That's probably a lot stronger than drawing in this situation.
Yeah, but that's gonna be it, though.
6,
more
10,
than it. That is twice enough. So, Justin.
18. What? How do you?
What? You Leroy?
Leroy?
Like Taskmaster or Hero
16.
Power? 16.
Hero Power is 19. Oh yeah, yeah, that does work. Corkron or Hero Power or even Taskmaster. No, Taskmaster doesn't do it actually. Taskmaster is 18, I believe. But yeah. Wait, is it?
What is he doing now? Is this correct? Has he counted this right?
I don't think that was a lethal.
Well, he's at 5 health and with really nothing to do, it seems.
I don't think there was a lethal. I think I was correct when I first originally thought there was none. You tried to convince me otherwise. That being said...
And there's no taunts. There's no defense.
Yeah, I mean, you can get rid of most stuff, but that doesn't really save you.
Doesn't.
You can go up to 7, which even with what's shown on the board would still not save you.
So Justin with the 2-1, he desperately finally wins that game with the warrior and gets to move on. And we'll see what he's gonna decide to take this priest down, because he has to sweep this priest now. That's his only hope. When you're down 2-0, you have to just pull a clean sweep on the remainder of your opponent's.
Oh, that's
deck.
actually not bad.
What?
If you now heal face, from what you're seeing, you're not dead necessarily.
Yeah, no, but he still is.
I mean, yeah, 2 points of damage from the hand is not very far fetched in this matchup, but still very good play from Maxah here to close out this game. The thing about the situation that Justin is
big
in,
fight from Justin there. Very impressive.
yeah, and it always sucks when you're behind and you're in a situation where you just can't afford to lose. But on the other hand, your opponent becomes much more predictable.
Yeah, you know what you have to do. You have to beat this priest 3 times in a row.
So I think I like the Druid next.
Druid, yes. Druid, and he has the Rogue.
Seems like a pretty even matchup. The Rogue seems like the most swingy. It might not necessarily be a bad matchup, but it's definitely probably the most RNG heavy.
The Druid could be dubious, though. It depends a bit on what each player draws, because both those decks have the tendency to swing quite heavily, take over quite heavily, or get beat up on quite badly.
I feel like the Druid is more consistent, though, because the quest is a guaranteed draw, and you have a lot of cards to profit. That being said, goes with Rogue.
He has the firepower quickly to make this happen. Edwin on hand.
Yeah, not exactly the hand you're looking for.
Maxah again with a pretty good starting hand.
Maxah with an okay starting hand.
You might keep it all, and if you're Justin,
I'm not sure if I like the Pyro here against the Rogue specifically, but
do. A lot of lackeys, I do like.
Yeah, but also a lot of big stuff and not a lot of spells.
Versatility is sometimes the key here, and he keeps some removal option on his hand. Picks up a silence. That's a good Edwin counter.
Yes,
you like to see that.
Now, of course, you heal your opponent's face.
Yeah, or you play a minion.
I don't think so.
Depends on how badly you think you need it, but
you're not the tempo deck. You don't have an imminent threat on the board. You like the Injured Blade
you probably don't want to waste the Pyro there.
You don't want to waste the Pyro, and the Nefer set also seems pretty wasteful against. Considering you have some like Injured Blade Master as options as well.
You have Blade Master, and then next turn, if say it sticks, you have Ritualist plus Inner Fire.
Yes.
4/14. Divine Spirit 4/14. Turn 4 potentially.
But you do have to consider, the Rogue has, and as a matter of fact, in this case, on hand, a Sap.
Yeah.
Which is why you might honestly keep Divine Spirit in your hand until you actually kill your opponent, or at the very least, hit in.
Defense here, put a minion down, not optimal, not really what you want. Double Divine Spirit now? So.
Yeah. And now we're just looking at, like, play the Blade Master, next turn play the Ritualist. Just actually, now it's a little awkward, but I think you still do it. Just always play something that has like 6 to 7 points of health, optimally 8, but you can't really do that well. And then just say like, okay, I now just need to draw a shield and Inner Fire.
Gotta pick up the combo.
And then, because I think in this case you want to actually play it as an OTK.
Yeah, you want to get it as close as possible. A Met can definitely be helpful if you pick it up in this sort of situation, especially. That's the Dragon Queen, if I'm seeing that correctly.
Decides to keep the Blade Master, knowing that Dagger plus
we'll take it out.
Dude is And by the way, this is one of those situations where one of our personal tech choices for this deck would have been really useful.
The Oozy boy.
Not what I had in mind.
Not the Ooze. What are you thinking? For which deck?
For the Combo Priest.
Oh.
The Knight.
Maybe, yeah.
Stormwind Knight.
Big combo, yeah. It's possible.
It is a little awkward because you'd want to have at least 6 for the divine for the combo, but that way you don't have to stick a minion.
Yeah.
Just
Stormwind Knight is a good one.
A little bit of a side note for the viewers.
Yeah. In case you never knew, Stormwind Knight is a major underground pro tip in Combo Priest. It's a basic card everyone has. It's a 2/5 charge.
Honestly, a high health charge minion is pretty good in this archetype.
And now here comes the big Blade Master.
Yeah, keeping it intentionally for a turn where he knows it. There's no guaranteed can be removed.
Blink Fox is huge. That might enable your Vendetta here.
I mean,
Blink Fox could be a big pickup.
Vendetta. I mean, there's definitely ways to deal with the Blade Master. That being said,
he's gonna just have it back.
That works too.
Take no risks.
Are we gonna see Coin Lackey Edwin?
We might.
Backstab, Coin, Edwin.
I think so, yeah.
I mean, it just
which is probably likely going to be
seems
silenced
too good not
then.
to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to go
play.
for
Yeah,
it.
I mean, you have to play. You can make a big Edwin that can potentially win you the game. If your opponent doesn't have a specific card, you have to play.
And there's other cards in the deck that you don't want to get silenced, so your opponent using the silence isn't even horrible.
And he does so. Silence is going to be forced here, I would imagine.
I mean, you'd think so, right? You can't really leave a 10-10 on the board.
No. You Pyro, though. Pyro Silence clears up, maybe?
Pyro, Silence, and another spell clears up most everything.
He could. He might not have to, but if he wants to stick another minion himself.
Yeah, but it's a little awkward. You don't want to waste a Divine Spirit.
It would have to be a Divine Spirit.
Yeah, I don't think you can do that. You probably can't afford to. You could try, and you don't have the mana. I was about to say you could try fishing with some for the Cleric, but
You could.
you can't do that and Pyro on the same turn. There's just not enough mana in this round. That being said,
Well, of course, Silence is free and pretty much mandatory there.
Yeah, and I mean, come on. Given opposing minion -8/-8, you're happy to do that for 0 mana.
That Siamat picked up, which is gonna be huge.
Yeah, I mean, that's also gonna be, if you have that with like Divine Shield Taunt, like, have fun doing your combo. I'm just gonna wait here. Like,
probably, you might just take Rush Wind Fury, let's be honest, just clear up.
I mean, yeah, but I really like the taunt, because if you have a big taunt, like, big as in like bigger than most of the small minions that Column Priest runs, it's really hard to combo through that. I mean, that's the reason why you run Silence. Of course, sometimes there are situations where you have to use it for something else, but
depends on. It's gonna depend on the situation. I like to play next turn. If the board lines up, he's just gonna clean it up himself. But Vendetta now enabled, like we said.
Also, that Northshire Cleric is actually like sneakily really good, because the moment you play it, your opponent can't use his to draw without giving you cards too. And at the end of the day, the Highlander Rogue at its heart still is a a tempo-oriented deck.
Yeah.
So, giving
definitely have potential there.
Like forcing your opponent to share the draws is not a good thing.
Is it maybe now Pyro time? You always have to figure this out if you're a Maxah, because of course your resources are less than your opponent's, so you got to use your Pyro in the best way possible. Or are you going to be tempted into this Psycho Pump?
The thing is, if you can somehow stick a big thing, and that's not it, of course.
That's not a big thing.
Then, with the sidekick, the double Divine Spirit, you just need the Inner Fire, and you're good to go. But you also need
you
something
probably
to put it on.
You probably wanted the Blade Master over this.
But even then, you have to still somehow get it back to full health, because your opponent's probably gonna kill it.
Yeah,
or at least
you probably Psychic
hit
Divine
into it.
Spirited right away. You've seen one sap. I mean, what much more is there to do?
I think it's really hard for Maxah to come back from this.
Yeah, he's gonna see back-to-back Siamat and maybe Galakrond here.
Because you're gonna force to use your resources in a way that you don't want to use them.
I like Siamat a lot. You have basically your choice of whatever you want to do: Rush, Wind Fury, Taunt, anything goes here.
I mean, Faceless does it too. I mean, you can
Faceless also.
You can hit Edwin in and then hit both Facelesses in, and the big minion, well, the big health minion is dead.
It's gonna be Siamat.
Rush Wind Fury, that works too.
Yeah. Just
same thing.
Cleric needs to go.
I might have liked Faceless better here because it produces slightly more stats on the board and is cheaper, not that you could use the mana very effectively, which might actually be a good argument for why you should do it this way. Because, of course, you want to use your mana as effectively as possible.
As you told you.
Yeah, but now you're one Divine Spirit short.
Yeah, and also get rid of the Siamat as Wind Fury. It's going to deal 12 next turn.
Right, the Wind Fury. Yeah, that actually makes it very worthwhile.
Siamat is a huge card. It's one of the best cards in the game.
In more ways than one, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Ziliax in that regard, actually.
Yeah.
Where
Oh, yeah.
It's a very... of course, Ziliax even more versatile.
Yes.
Because you can play it in aggro,
and you have you have all the magnets and stuff, yeah. But Siamat is the big boy. Siamat is definitely the new bully on the block, so there's some decks have a very tough time dealing with this stuff. And Justin might just have pulled it out. He might be going to full overtime here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks
Definitely
very much
does,
like it.
Definitely does.
And you pretty much have to start Pyro Ring right now, and even then, like... Yeah, it's gonna be... Yeah, it's gonna be some combination of Pyro and maybe using the Cleric for draw.
Can't.
Which, right, yeah, no.
Chill it up.
You probably would want to heal it first, then Divine Spirit it for extra health. Just side note. It's the little things. It's
nothing that would save him the game at this point, probably though. You have a choice here.
No. Also, by the way, Flick. By the way,
yeah, Skyshank isn't terrible.
First of all, pretty good to deal with this taunt if you really want to. And second of all, you know what archetype is really disgusting against?
What, Flick?
Yeah.
What?
Treants.
Yeah.
Because it can kill 7 minions on the board like it's nobody's business.
Pogo Hoppers too.
Yeah, I mean, Jades and Wild, but...
A lot of things. So 2-2, we're tied up, man. We're taking it to overtime. Going all the way. Big hype, exciting. Drop a like on the video, by the way. We haven't done that yet. Support these competitors as they're getting ready, and we know the matchup.
Yes, it is going to be Combo Priest versus Quest Druid. Very draw dependent, as Alex said earlier. Although I do, in this case, give the edge to the Quest Druid.
Combo Priest versus Quest Druid in 2020. It's like Saviors of Uldum Trash Bowl all over again.
I mean...
Fascinating.
It's still a similar
There's
meta.
still good decks. There's still good decks, man. Test the time.
And also, this just speaks to the strength of the competitors.
And here we are.
Forcing each other to go the full distance.
Yeah,
Not letting anyone win early.
And on a big stage, too. I mean, this is a big game. This is for... This is for a spot in the European Championship.
Yeah,
that's big stuff. So exciting to see what goes on.
I like Hidden Oasis here.
Hidden Oasis is good. Yeah, once your quest is done, it's pretty good.
It's one of the strongest cards in the deck.
You can pick Druid, but Oasis is strong. It goes with the Druid there. He's taking it slow.
Speaking of taking it slow. Max has nothing to play right now.
Not gonna be a play. He might coin the Blade Master next turn. Seems like an idea. You have to take advantage or not allow Justin to develop. I think coin Blade Master is almost an automatic.
And
you'll come up with your Nephros set and you'll start buffing and just putting pressure.
Yeah, and if you're
even Circle, I like it.
And if you're playing the Priest right now, you are not Combo Priest. You're Tempo Priest.
You're Tempo Priest. Your hand buff aggro priest. I mean, you just go.
You have to win fast.
Light Warden. He's gonna put arms, and this is already a big minion.
This right now for Maxah is pretty much one of the better starts you could have hoped for in this particular matchup.
Maybe Druid now put a taunt in the way, but you're not progressing your quest there.
Yeah, I like maybe drawing with the Ferocious Howl.
Just Ferocious Howl?
It's a lot of armor that delays your opponent, and it. Swipe doesn't do anything.
Swipe so you can take it out with the Druid next turn.
And it does prevent the combo.
Divine Spirit.
Potentially. That being said, we do have Circle of Healing and more arms. Maybe the Light Warden as well.
So many arms.
Hey, you can never have enough of them.
Never.
We're gonna see Circle come down probably, or the Ritualist.
I like Ritualist.
I would have liked Circle and Arms here, just pushing a little bit more damage this turn.
I like Ritualist. There's no way to kill this.
But Inner Fire is just straight up lethal.
Yeah.
That being, if your opponent cannot produce a valid enough taunt, but you know, you always have your ways.
Wild Pyro might be lethal because of the Light Warden. Pyro, Arms, Circle of Healing could be lethal.
Oof.
Needs to draw here.
I mean, that is
Place
definitely,
Merchant.
the armor is definitely a big
There's
thing as well.
11. There's 11 on the board right now, and there's several lethal draws on turn 5 here for Maxah. So this is crunch time.
11 on the board, 2 on the hand.
It's Blade Master. Blade Master is not going to help him right now.
Blade Master is going to help with the circle for the Light Warden for 2 extra points if you want it, but then you can't arms, which would also give you 2 extra points. So really looking at 13 points of damage here. Oh.
Blade Master?
Blade Master, now Circle?
Then Circle, yeah.
You're still dealing the same amount of damage to face.
Yeah.
And you can't even Hero Power face.
You can.
Your own optimally.
Yeah.
And you're dealing 17.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah, no, 17. That was correct.
That's a lot of damage.
Hidden Oasis. How about it?
Does it help you? Isn't it Starfall? But you still have to decide your target.
Hidden Oasis gives you a big taunt.
But Hidden Oasis doesn't
also,
help.
Yeah.
Hidden Oasis doesn't save you.
Because it's only a 6/6, so the Blade Master takes it. And you're going up to 19, but also the Lightworm's going up to 13, and you can't take it out otherwise.
You have to Starfall something, right? But it doesn't help. Starfall just straight up also doesn't help, because you'll leave too much alive with more arms. You'll leave the one Blade Master, which is one off. But
are we saying this is over?
I think so. I'm not seeing it.
Whoa! I did not expect the priest to be that explosive. And I mean, kudos to Maxah for pulling this off.
I'm not seeing it right now. Justin isn't tanked big. Of course, we're not as good at Hearthstone as these guys are, but
Nourish is not entirely
you got 1 mana
out of the picture.
You got 1 mana.
You got 4. You got
3. Well, what is 3 mana?
Well, there's
one taunt. There's an Innervate.
And there is the Innervate. That means you can at the very least. First of all, you have another Nubusa.
Yeah.
And then you can at the very least play the Faceless. Wait, no, that's a Twilight Drake. That's not.
It's a Twilight Drake. This is over. This is over. Wow, Maxah. I mean, wow. That was I'm speechless. That was an incredible game, incredible match, and
this is more for the history books.
Yeah, that's exactly what we would expect out of a semifinal stuff. Maxah is going to the big one. Maxah is going to the European Conference Championship in his first ever tournament, so trying to make big time history there is going to get a shot.
And whoever the opponent is going to be, despite the Trash Bowl experience advantage, has to definitely look out for this up and comer here. I mean, Maxah with a really strong performance in a hard-fought battle, showing that, there is potential there.
Incredible strength and discipline there by Maxah with this deck 3 times. It just gets it done at the end. So I think deservedly a spot in the championship game for him. And it's going to be a very interesting one to watch. We got Lemonade and Ryokuma battling out for the other spot. 2 veterans of the scene. Coming up over the next few days, which, by the way, let me know your predictions for that in the comments if you care to do so. And massive thumbs up to these players. Drop a like on this video, they really deserve it. Justin, very much thank you for playing. It was a great performance, great tournament. I'm sure and I hope we're going to see you back next time, because that was just excellent Hearthstone from you the whole time. And that match also was a nail biter, so great stuff. More semifinal madness coming up, of course, on the American bracket. We also have 2 great matches, and then we're getting into the big ones, the championship games. So you don't want to miss any of that, I would imagine. If you're a sane human being, you probably don't want to miss it. So drop a subscription to TrashcanTV, and to go the extra mile, join our Discord server for notifications to all games. YouTube sometimes forgets to notify you, so join the Discord. You're not going to miss another video, very important. Hopefully we're going to see you there soon. You can also meet us there. All these competitors are in there. It's a great community. Hopefully we'll see you there. And until next time, JJ.
That's it.
That's it.